Knobhead drivers come in many different forms, but I think the most modern version of them today all seem to drive around in cars with 4 rings at the front of the grille and at the back of the car. Now, this is obviously something that isn't relatively new. This has been a trend now for about the past decade. And with the badge snobbery around Audi and the fancy models that they're bringing out, their ownership of companies like Lamborghini all contributes to that. For me personally, out of Audi's range at the minute, there's not much I'd get. The only things that I'd consider would be an RS3, an RS5, or a TTRS. Now, the latter of them is already something that would have to take a lot of balls to end up buying, because I don't want to be known as an air hostess. But from what I've seen, it's an incredible amount of fun. For me, the RS5 is the best looking Audi that they have out in their range, and the current model's interior is beautiful, but the price of it is mental. And then the only other consideration I have is the RS3, but I don't particularly like hatchbacks, and the idea of it getting nicked every 5 metres also would put me off. Now, the RS3 has this yobbo stigma to it, but it's not the petrol head joyriding stigma. It's more, here's my drug dealer and his mates in the car to sell me something for under a tenner. I'd much prefer a different car to that. Now, you might be sat there thinking, but what about the Audi R8? I haven't liked the new model of the Audi R8 from the day it came out. For me, the V8 and V10 original Audi R8s, as a coupe designed to challenge the Porsche 911s market, that to me is the R8. I'm guessing that's just because it was the origin and the poster car for me, but that's an entirely different video. I can talk about that issue in. But again, it's not for me. It's a Lambo Huracan with a lesser badge on it. If I had the money to be getting that and that's the car I'd want, I'd be getting a Lambo Huracan. But again, it still adds to this badge snobbery. They still want to be one of these people that drives around in an Audi, but have a much worse version of the one that came out before. And it is literally, at that point, the 4 rings on the car. Nothing else. That's terrible judgment in my mind, and just means you are, again, a knobhead. Something I've noticed as well is when you have the 4 badges on the steering wheel in front of you, for some reason that means the slip road for you on a motorway ends on the 3rd lane. Now, obviously I'm overgeneralising by saying all Audi drivers do this, but a large majority of them do. They just go whoop and plough on, and you just sit there thinking, knobhead. But with the new VWs that are coming out, their interiors and their build quality are matching that of an Audi, and I think you'll see it a lot more that, well, people already do drive around in a lot of Golf Rs and GTIs when they're competing with like the RS3 and that kind of thing, but in the more kind of German coupes and sports saloons, you don't really see VW, and I think that's where they'll start to push because their quality of their cars is increasing. I think maybe you'll see less of Audi, but then again, this badge snobbery still continues and is still a prevalent thing when people come to buy them and spend thousands a month on them, so yeah, but what do I know? But at the end of the day, I could be chatting out my arse. Seriously, what do I know? I drive a white Fiesta.